Let's look at this problem. The clock in Shree's car, which is not accurate, gains time at a constant rate. One day, as he begins shopping, he notes that his car clock and his watch, which is accurate, both say 12 p.m. So that's 12 at noon. That's 12 p.m. So this is a good piece of information because it tells us that both the accurate time system and the false time system starts at the same time. So this will certainly help our calculation later on. Okay. When he's done shopping, his watch says 12:30 and his car clock says 12:35. This piece of information is very good because when combined with this piece of information, the false time system gains time at a constant rate. It tells us every 30 minutes the false time system gains exactly 5 minutes. Good. Let's continue. Later that day, Shree loses his watch. He looks at his car clock and it says 7 o'clock. What is the actual time? This is a very interesting problem. Before we started, I'll make a couple of comments. So first one is because it says later that day, we would assume that this is actually a 7 p.m. Good. And another comment is that by reading the problem, I realized that there may be a couple of ways to solve it. The first way is we perform all the calculations in the actual time system. And in a second way that we'll do the calculation in the false time system. But eventually, both shall give us the same answer. So let's take a look. Let's say in method 1, we call this this is the accurate time system, and this is the false time system. And from this piece of information, as we pointed out, 30 minutes in the accurate time system maps to 35 minutes in the false time system. Good. And then we know that at the end of the day, we have a time from the false time system, which is 7 p.m. And we certainly want to know what value maps to 7 p.m. Let's suppose 30 minutes in the accurate time system is one time slot. Let's just call that a slot for simplicity. Okay. Now, let's use equations to do the calculation. We'll set x slots of time has passed at the end of the day. With that setup, we know that in the actual time system, 30 minutes times x has passed. However, we don't know what value this is, but we do know this 7 p.m. in the false time system. Therefore, this quantity plus 5 times x. This 5 is the amount of time that the false time system gains per 30 minutes or per time slot. Therefore, for x slots, it gains 5 times x number of minutes. So when we add up these two numbers, it shall equal to 7 p.m. But the 7 p.m. is not the correct way that we put it here. We shall convert it to the number of minutes. So 7 p.m. Is equivalent to 7 times 60 minutes, right? Because we start our counting from 12 noon. That's our common starting time. Good. Then let's solve this equation. So we have 35x equals 7 times 60. And we will do a small trick here. So we change this to 6 times 70. Therefore, x equals 6 times 70 divided by 35, and that's 2. So 6 times 2, that's 12. Therefore, we know that 12 slots of time has passed in the accurate time system. Then that is what? 12 times 30 number of minutes. Then we divide that by 60 minutes so that we'll get the number of hours. And this equals 30 cancels 60, we get 2. So 2 cancels 12, we get 6. Therefore, this equals 6 hours. And don't forget, this is in the actual time. Therefore, the actual time now is 6 p.m. B is our choice. So this is method 1. Now let's look at method 2. Alright, in method 2, we will still apply this piece of information. So the accurate time system maps to a false time system. And we have 30 minutes maps to 35 minutes, right? Again, we have 7 p.m. and we want to know what maps to 7 p.m. Now we will do the calculation in the world of false time system. So what does that mean? That means 7 p.m. is what? Let's convert that to the number of minutes in the false time system. So that equals 7 times 60. Number of minutes has passed since noon. Is that right? Good. And we also know that in the false time system, every 35 minutes is mapped into 30 minutes back into the accurate time system. Let's call this a slot of time. Then for this number of minutes, how many slots of time has passed in the false time system? Then that quantity should be 7 times 60 divided by 35. Don't forget, all the numbers here are in the false time system. Then we'll do the same trick. We'll swap this 7 times 60 to 6 times 70. And then divide that by 35. And then cancel 35, this is 2, and that equals 12. So we get the same 12 slots of time in the false time system. Then what does that mean? We know that each slot of time in the false time system maps to 30 minutes in the actual time. Therefore, in the actual time, we have 30 minutes times 12 slots, and then divided by 60. So the last step is the same as this. Therefore, this equals 6 hours. So the current time is 6 p.m., which is the same as the first method, 6 p.m. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel and thumb up. If you have questions, please comment.